Because we've had big names on here. I mean, we've had very popular, very rich, very famous people on here.
Let's not brag.
Let's not brag, but, we're doing all right.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for having me. I feel like I'm like small time.
Well, Jerry actually focuses. I don't watch a lot of like online stuff because my brain is so consumed with all my businesses. It gets kind of going online gives me depression, and so I have like you see like his side over there has like people that he watches on the internet. I have a few people I watch.
On his Facebook, he doesn't follow anybody.
He don't
follow his wife.
I don't even follow my wife.
So I'm kind of the same. Like, believe it or not, like I don't watch because it's like I'm out there doing stuff. I don't really have time to like watch a ton of people. So like the reason like the connections that I've made are usually, I'm not trying to sound like, I'm just not, I've never was a big social media person. I just started doing it like really this year. And it's mostly people reaching out to me and then like kind of making connections. But I try to do as much as I can, like either in person or like talking to them. And then we build a rapport and a relationship and it's all kind of built off of that. But I don't spend a ton of time minus like my upload stuff to really watch a ton of people. So like if you call out names and stuff, I might not even know who.
Same here. Yeah, I mean, I have like a whole list over there of like people I know just from Delaware. He does a lot of the online because I'm trying to just some people even near us have really good stories. Know? So I mean, just trying to pull that out. So I can't.
Well, we're rolling. I'm not going to cut this out. So
well then, hey, won't you do an introduction?
You know what I mean? Yeah. All right. Welcome back to Doodads. We got another in-house guest. We're pumped about this one. If you're in the outdoor space, on the interwebs, on the intergrams, Facebooks, and all that stuff, Miss Carly Watkins Outdoors, right?
Yes.
I need an applause machine.
Yeah, we do need an applause machine. Definitely a badass fisherwoman. Do you get offended when somebody says fisherman?
Or did you say fisherman?
Yeah.
This is why I said last time. Woman,
extra.
men, fishermen. It's both.
I don't need that extra syllable.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I don't either.
No, fishermen.
So let's get into identifying things. No. Just
you caught a killer speckled trout the other day. The other week.
Yeah.
They're coming back.
They are.
People are catching some big ones recently.
Yeah, they're further north. I feel the climate of the bay is changing. I mean, those huge trophy stripers that we were catching over the wintertime, like normally they are not where they were this year. And I have a feeling it's already starting to play out the way it did last year.
Yeah.
The stripers are kind of holding in actually in Baltimore, like in the harbor. That's where like everybody's out there catching them, and it was the same story, same situation last year.
Really?
I think the salinity is higher, so those species that you're not normally seeing. I mean, people are catching black sea bass right by the Bay Bridge, so it's definitely.
And it's only June.
Yeah.
That's not abnormal in August.
So
I feel like, or not that abnormal, dude. Kids were catching bluefish in the C&D Canal the other day. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And where we were,
it's crazy
crabbing,
for now.
Yeah. Where we were crabbing yesterday near the power plant, I don't know how normal this is. Charlotte goes, my daughter, she's like, oh my God, a shark. She's 10. And I was like, what the fuck? And I hear the boat next to her, she's like, oh, there's dolphin. There was fucking dolphin all the way as west as you can get in the Indian River Bay. I guess, and I was marking a ton of baits. I guess they're just chasing
in the
bait
Indian
up
River Bay. Hell yeah.
No, I'm talking by the power plant in like a little gut, like way up there.
They were all last year too. People were. I mean, it was like 4th of July weekend, and I wasn't even out fishing. We were just out on the boat, messing around, and huge pods of them, like schools of these dolphins, are like super far into the bay, and that's part of the reason why these stripers and these other fish are kind of holding further north than they normally would. So
if the dolphin are in there, the bait fish are in there, which means the bigger fish are in there.
Yeah.
So that might be the new seagull. Oh, not the seagull, but
new birds.
New birds. So you follow now. Maybe following the dolphins is the
That's
thing.
That's what you do offshore tuna fishing. You look for pilot whales, look for dolphins, look for birds, and there's life. Usually there's tuna hanging underneath all that stuff. You know what I mean?
How is the Chesapeake Bay? I remember just being at like a little I don't know. There's a thing on the other side of Indian River Bay where you can go and look. The kids can look at little, sand fleas and horseshoe crabs, and they have they'll do like a half-hour little demonstration of oysters. And they were talking about the oysters in Chesapeake Bay, and I don't know if they were declining. But they were definitely talking about how much they really were to be. I think they were declining. They were saying how much it was needed because they filter so much water to Chesapeake. A lot of them.
Yeah, they're
like the whole thing within.
Huge. They're super important. And I'm a member of the CCA in Maryland, and their big sort of tasks that they do. They create these reefs, these artificial reefs, and then they also are big in Chesapeake Bay Foundation too. They're big on anybody that has like piers or just access to the water. If you create these like oyster farms and sort of, kind of raise these oysters,
okay.
It takes a couple of years, but then they will actually go and put them out into the bay. My brother's girlfriend, she works for Under Armour, and Under Armour is huge with like partnering with the Bay Foundation. And she actually went out with a boat, and they put them right by Fort Carroll, which is right outside of the Key, the former Key Bridge.
Yeah.
And they've dumped, I forget how many, thousands of these oysters out there because they're filtration. And we used to have a bunch of seagrass in the bay, and that was sort of our natural filtration system. But you can see like just different satellite images from like the 70s until now of like how much that's declined.
Yeah.
So the oysters are huge because they sort of act like that. So they're trying to bring these sea grasses and stuff back to life because that's what makes the clearer water and the better quality of water. But the oysters are huge. So
and it ties into like the farming practices too, farming runoff and all that stuff. And with cover crop became a big thing to like all this stuff.
Even my grandfather used to talk about how when my grandfather used to have a place at the on Indian River Bay, and he was like, man, back then, he's like, if you want to go catch a flounder, you just go catch the flounder, catch blues, just go catch the shit.
Yeah.
Now it's like,
it's tough.
It's probably too much traffic anymore. Now it's just boat central anymore.
Oh yeah, as soon as word got out about those trophy stripers being where they were, it literally took. I was one of the lucky ones where I had a chance to get out there, like maybe a week or two before everybody and their mother heard about it, and then it's a nightmare. Like you got people driving straight through the school of fish and scaring them off, and the big trophy ones, they're not stupid. Like they're those fish sometimes can be like over 20 years old.
Yeah.
And they're not dumb. So as soon as you start doing that and start causing all this, it's crazy.
Would you say that at least a pack of smart boaters and fishermen would work together to kind of get on a pool of fish and fish them, or like everybody is on their own, everybody man for themselves, or? I
would think so.
Like everyone's like, look, man, get the smart people in here, idiots out. Let's get on this thing. Let's get these things.
We try to, and the catch and release season in Maryland. That's usually during the winter time. So you've got people like the people that are out there fishing.
Yeah.
They know it's catch and release. They're using like safe handling practices, or as much as you can, and trying to encourage others and teach other people how to handle these fish, because any rockfish, especially that's over 40 inches, it's a female, and it's a breeder female, and we want them to be out in the bay producing more fish and being able to spawn. So most of those women and men that are out there fishing that time of year typically know what they're doing, because fair weather fishermen are more of a spring and summertime, which unfortunately is the worst time for the fish and like their survivability. But those people that are fishing that time of year typically really care and like know their stuff and try to do it the right way. So that's one of my favorite times to fish.
I've been on a boat before where I was with a couple knuckleheads, and they gaffed the striper, and they're like, all right, let's check it. I'm like, we've already gaffed this thing. Like, we need to fucking check it. I'm like, what sizes? What are we doing here? I'm like, what do you mean? Like,
you can safely gaff a big
I don't know.
Underneath the lip. Just through the lip. My uncle does it when he's solo. If he's fishing solo, because it's easier to gaff than to net by yourself. But all he does is he just puts it through the lip.
Is that sellable? Who likes that? Is that a great thing?
Well, in Maryland, you can't do it.
Can't do it. Okay.
Illegal to gaff stripers. Yeah, so you can't do that.
What is the most common way of catching striper in the Chesapeake Bay? Are you guys chunk fishing, or are you?
Right now, live lining, right?
Yeah.
We're getting into live lining season.
Yeah, live lining is definitely more of the summertime way to catch them. Now trolling is big, but I will say, especially because people care so much, because Maryland is pretty strict with our regulations.
We watch it. It is strict,
and whether you agree with it or not, I don't really agree with the new slot limit. I know what they're trying to do, and I'm all about conservation. That's why I'm a member of the CCA, but I feel like they're going about it the wrong way, and we're looking at one area of a huge picture, and there's so many factors and things that are involved. But because Maryland is so strict, and because you got a lot of people, I mean, a huge part of our economy is like the commercial industry and the recreational side. So a lot of these people want these rockfish to thrive and survive because that's their livelihood. So we have to be super careful with what we do, and a lot of light tackle fishermen, that's becoming a lot more popular. So jigging and casting and things like that, because if you're releasing them, especially, so during catch and release season, you're not going to see anybody trolling. Very rarely will you see people trolling. It's almost exclusively light tackle, and you're chasing birds and you're jigging, and a lot of people it's mostly lures. You're not really using any live bait, and there's times of the year where you can't use certain live bait for them too.
Are they more prone to swallowing a jig or something if you're trolling? Is that one reason not to want to do that?
I think so, and I think if the fish isn't large enough, a lot of times it won't. Like if you're using outriggers or planer boards, a lot of times the line won't actually snap, and you don't even know that you're hooked onto one. So you're dragging this fish through, which isn't ideal. So I mean, I've trolled. I enjoy trolling. It has its place, but I would say, like me personally, I prefer light tackle. It's just I like feeling the fish hit. I like the whole process of it. I think it takes more technique, and you might not catch as many as you would trolling, but I think it's more fun. Plus, I'm just like a little ADD, so I want to be doing something that's more fun for me fishing. I don't want to I'll live line here and there, but not really, or use bait and things like that. Again, there's a time and a place for it, but I like doing something because that makes it more interesting for me.
I can agree with that.
So, but I don't discriminate against any types of fishing. We're actually getting ready to go to Wisconsin on Sunday to fish Lake Michigan for salmon, which I know nothing about, never done it, so I'm going to be learning, a completely new way of fishing.
Too, right?
I think they do. I think they do.
Spoons and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I would assume they do.
Yeah,
but I'm
ready to go fishing.
Our big thing in the spring for stripers is chunking, just like dead sticking. I mean, chum bag, chunks of fresh bunker, and hanging out, you're anchored up, and around structure,
and just wash
shallow water, whatever time of year, and completely different than Maryland. I mean, you can't. There's not enough room in the Delaware River to troll. I mean, you can, but you're going to go one direction, and it's just not like the bay is giant wide open. The Delaware River, where they come to spawn, way up north, it's fairly narrow.
So try to sit right over an oyster bed, throw some chunks out, and hopefully watch that rod just bend.
And it's boring as hell until it's not. It's trolling's the same way. Trolling's boring as shit until it's not boring.
We just went out with my buddy, and actually, one of my sponsors and one of the companies that I work with, he's a local guy out in where I live in Pasadena, but it's called Lendog Tackle, and they do a ton. I mean, just these beautiful tandem rigs for trolling. And we went out with my buddy who. Big troller. I mean, it's an art. It's a lot of setup and a lot of, just specific ways of doing things so that your lines don't get tangled. But you're right. It's not. It's super fun. You're out there. Yeah, it's a boat ride. You're hanging out. You're chilling. But then as soon as you start seeing all these rods going off, and it's always at the same time, it's chaos. It's hectic, but it's really fun.
It's like the duck hunting of fishing.
It is. I mean, tuna's the same. You've never been tuna fishing though, right?
I have.
You have. But
I have.
We
did not catch any, but
Gotcha.
I've been offshore once. That's and I have a bunch of buddies that do it all the time, and one of my goals is to do more offshore fishing, but yeah, it's the same kind of deal.
Do your guys that make the lures, do they do any offshore tackle?
They do. So Lendog Tackle, that's mostly geared towards inshore and bay fishing. They used to work with mostly just exclusively with the charter captains, and that's who use their tackle, but they're trying to, that's why they kind of wanted to bring me on, is they're trying to branch out more into the recreation side of things. Not that, charter, they're technically recreational, even though I don't know that they really are, but they reached out to me because they're trying new light tackle stuff, and I mean, I troll too. I have a boat in addition to the kayak that I use, so we troll as well. But they also have an offshoot company, Canyon Candy Tackle, and that's all geared towards offshore. So
nice.
That sounds good.
Canyon Candy.
That sounds
Canyon Candy.
I might have to buy my buddy some of those things. So they do spreader bars and chains and all that offshore.
Who got you into fishing?
So really, COVID kind of got me more into I grew up in Maryland, so I've always liked to fish. I mean, I remember going to Ocean City and fishing off the pier with my dad, and I've always been super competitive just in general. So my dad and I would go out and fish, and if he caught the first fish, he knew it was going to be an all day affair because I'd either have to catch one bigger or more than him. Yeah. So I grew up doing that. Trout lines for crabs, things like that. But I don't think I really got into it until COVID hit. My dad had a 21-foot Mako center console, and my husband and I just took it out constantly because we had nothing better to do. And he's a contractor, so for the government, but all the travel restrictions, he really couldn't do anything. I was still in school to be a dental hygienist, and so I wasn't in school. Like, all of my classes and stuff all the lecture portions were online, but we were kind of in limbo for the clinical side. And we were like, well, it's beautiful. I mean, because it happened in the end of March. So then we're coming up on nice weather, and we're still locked down, especially in Maryland. It was super strict. So we were like, let's just go take the boat out. So we would take the boat out. That kind of gave us it opened our eyes to just maintaining a boat, taking care of the boat, because it was an older boat, and we just ran the shit out of it. And we're out there all the time. We were getting ready to sell our house, and we were trying to figure out where we wanted to end up long term. And we looked at each other and we were like, do we want property? Because that was kind of our thought before. Or do we want to be on the water? And we were like, we want to be on the water. So that's what brought us to Pasadena. As soon as we're on the water, the first year that we were there, we just ran that boat to the ground. I mean, we almost sank it 3 times. And yeah, it was wild. But we just spent all our time on the bay. So then once we knew we were invested, and if we're willing to take out a boat that is not very reliable, had to have it towed a handful of times, constantly doing the maintenance for it. We were like, all right, if we, let's see how much we run it and use it, and then we'll invest in a new boat. Yeah. And then the following year is when we got our 25-foot new Nautic Star boat, a center console as well. And that's when we really started getting heavy into fishing, because that boat was equipped to do trolling, to do pretty much whatever you want, because it's the Nautic Star, the hybrid. It was big in Florida, and it's starting to make its way up north and up to the bay. And it's great because the draft is super shallow, so you can go into 14 inches of water, but then it also handles super well in the rougher bay water. I mean, we've taken it offshore too. And once we got that boat, then it was game over. And then my buddies that are down in Kent Island, they started a company in 2022, so 2 years ago, called Hogfin. And it's fishing, apparel and things like that. And when they started getting heavy into that just prompted me to get more involved in fishing. I mean, I'd always liked it, but I started wanting to promote them, so I would wear their stuff out, and that's what kind of started the whole social media thing too, more so to help them out, because I thought it was really cool that local guys that I'm super close with, that are really established in our area and our community, were trying to do something and make a name for themselves. So once that happened, then it really started to take off for me. So I've always enjoyed fishing, but I would say it became a real passion probably this past year.
And you and your husband are just out there learning together.
Yeah.
How many times have we
I'm more into it than him, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, he likes to drink on the boat. That's why he loves trolling.
Who doesn't?
Because he likes to just be on the boat. He's okay. He can take or leave. If he catches a fish, great. He just wants to be out on the water. That's his thing. He's very good at running the boat. I mean, he's an excellent captain. I will say that. But he could care less about the actual fishing part.
Well, that's good. You got a free captain.
Yeah, that's a good match then.
Yeah, and I mean, he's taught me a ton. I'm running the boat now. He actually deployed last year. So during this whole trophy striper season, he was not home for. And that's why I got the kayak, because I was like, you know, it's kind of a pain to run the boat like by myself or on my own. Like, I want something that's a little bit more practical. And the snakeheads, you know, that it's more ideal to be in a kayak, because a lot of them, you know, you're in inches of water. Yeah. So that's what got me into the snakehead thing and the kayaking, and it was perfect because it was easy for me to do it by myself. Very little maintenance involved.
Yeah,
with that.
In and out, man. Getting in tight spots.
Yeah, but he was gone that whole time. He was deployed in Africa for 6 months. He didn't get home until like the tail end of that season. So I was taking my boat out because a bunch of my girlfriends, you know, they're all big anglers, and my girlfriend has a jet boat that's perfect for like the river. She's a big Susquehanna fisherman. And she actually runs a guide service out there. Shout out to River Queen Guide Service if you ever need. She's big on stripers, snakehead, and smallies, smallmouth fishing. So if you are into any of that, she's phenomenal.
Definitely gonna have to hit that up, because I ain't taking my boat up there.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's one of the few people that, like, she knows that river like the back of her hand. She knows the route, because it's super dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. And the jet boat is perfect for that type of water. So that she's got her boat for that kind of fishing, but my boat's perfect for the bay, which is like the big bay, which is where these trophy stripers were. So, you know, I'm out there running it and learning, and that was huge for me, like running it on my own and everything. So I'm getting there. I'm not as good as him.
What's your favorite type of fishing right now?
This time of year, I would say snakehead. I tend to stay away from a lot of striper fishing, especially as it starts getting hotter and warmer. I will do it, but with the slot limit being so limited in Maryland right now, I don't love the idea of having to throw back a fish in not the best, like, ideal conditions. And it's 19 to 24 inches, so I don't want to be throwing back, you know, a 30-inch fish that may not make it because the conditions are so terrible. So, right now, I would say snakehead is my go-to.
I haven't went snakehead fishing. It's that good. I thought you caught.
No, I didn't. My buddy Jimmy in Maryland.
That's the one you showed me.
Dude, he goes all the time.
I was crazy, close to bringing you guys some fillets of the one.
They're the best.
My dad caught this giant one a couple weeks ago. I got like 8 fillets off that thing. It was huge. It was a monster. I mean, it wasn't crazy long, but it was just fat. I mean, they're huge. Its freaking head was, you know, that big. And I caught my first one of the season. It was just a little. I mean, it was beautiful. The pattern and everything was stunning. But like, I got like a freaking like little chicken tender off of it. But I got 8 fillets off this fish.
You always kill them. You're always killing them to eat, obviously.
I'll release. It depends on the situation and where I'm at and what I'm doing.
Feel like dealing with
no, we eating these out of the pond, or this is tidal water we're getting these out of?
Both.
Yeah.
I've never eaten a fish out of a pond, except when I was young for like catfish when we were young and we're like learning, you know?
Yeah.
But like, I never thought about eating a fish out of a pond.
Delicious fish, man.
Well, I mean, because you think pond, you think largemouth, which you know, I don't eat bass like that. I mean, like actually, like pan fishing and stuff. I know a lot of people will eat those types of fish, but that's the crazy thing. There's such a weird fish because in a drainage ditch you could find some. I mean, you can find these monster fish in like literally an inch of water. I was out on my kayak the other day fishing a new spot that I knew that they were in, but I had never been to before. But I brought my bow out too because I knew I was going to be pretty. Like I you can sight fish for them because you can see them a lot of the times. And I saw these just monster fish and like literally like that much water. So crazy, it was crazy. It was crazy.
How do you rig up your bow to your? Do you take it on your kayak?
I can, yeah.
So do you have like a holder, or you just like? Did they make like is accessories that good now where they got like?
I'm telling you, like I need to come up with like a rig or something and market it because I mean it's becoming a lot more popular, especially like up my way, like kayak people doing it. But I've looked and I'm like, they don't have anything that like is practical for a kayak, or it doesn't weigh about, you know, because everything on the kayak I'm going for light.
So there's a deer hunting, right? Like back in the day, a big way to hold your bow on your tree stand, it was just like a fork, and the limb of the bow goes in there, and then the weight just holds it. So it literally you could just slide it out, and the tool is like that big. It's literally just looks like a tuning fork.
Get that attached to something that'll go in a rod holder.
Yeah, that's what I want to come up with, something that I can mount, because you have all like the rail mount or the rails on the kayak. I need to come up with some, and I was just gonna figure it out, because like I thought like maybe even like a J hook or something where I can just like hang it off of, but just high enough to keep it out of the water. Mm-hmm. But something, because like right now what I do is my kayak's pretty. It's a Hoodoo kayak, which also shout out to them. They're one of my sponsors. They're great, super affordable kayaks, and they're stable. And
what's it called? Hoodoo. Okay, because I owe my wife a kayak, so I'm gonna look at that one.
They're great. They're sturdy. They're a small company that started out in Texas, and they're becoming more and more popular up our way. But they have different drives, and they have a propeller drive and then a fin drive. So mine's a fin drive, just because with all the slop and like how shallow I go, I just wanted the fin drive because I felt like I'm not going to get as tangled into the weeds as you would with another one, but they're great. But it's stable enough for me to stand on. So I'll set the bow up on the front on like the bow of the kayak, and I just recently got a jet motor, so I have a extended tilling motor that I can use to like steer my rudder, so I can stand and steer with the jet motor that pops right into the pedal drive.
Wait, a jet motor?
Uh-huh.
Oh shit, kayaks on a jet motor game?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
You should have seen me the other day. I was out there. People were like doing a double take because I was going so fast. I'm just like, what? Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
So now the jet ski has blended with the kayak.
Yeah.
That's fucking
It's
cool.
great. I mean, I like that it was plug and play. I mean, you can mount a trolling motor on the kayak, and it works fine.
But the jet is way more forgiving in shallow water.
Exactly. Yeah. And that was my big thing, is the majority of fishing that I do.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, that's what I do. I'll set it down. I'll be, looking around. I just got lights for the kayak, so I can do it at night. So, that's how I do it now. But I would love to come up with something practical that would work to like hold the bow up, so I'm not constantly having to bend over.
You got any friends with like in the 3D printing company world? Like a 3D printer was probably where you would start. For a mock-up.
Shit, I mean PVC and some.
You gotta sell this thing. You gotta be out there with a PVC pole and some fucking
prototypes.
Zip tie.
Well, do it. I believe in you. We'll be your first sponsor. It'll get me into bow fishing, which I want to do anyway.
I used to bow fish way back in the day.
Dude, your boat is perfect for that. Just get a big LED. Get a big LED
I was looking. I was eyeing it up as soon as I got here.
You just bought it. Yeah. It's not even broken in yet.
It's not even broken in yet.
Yeah.
Actually, it leaves next Wednesday. I go back over to Hanover. I bought it from Hanover, Maryland, Cabela's. And so I take it back there to get...
that's up my way. That's like right by where I work. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I work in Gambrills, which isn't far from... Bass Pro is like my diversion home. I always have to go there.
I had a good experience there. It was fun buying it from there. It was like childhood little scene. So, but I'm taking it back Wednesday to get a trolling motor put on the front and a fish farm. I need a trolling motor. I cannot bass fish with most of the times you're not allowed to use the engine in these lakes anyway, these ponds anyway. Nor do I want to be sucking up all the shit in my engine.
Yeah.
So, we took it out a couple times, and I'm getting ready to go fishing on July 4th weekend. We're going to a large lake down in Tennessee. I don't remember what it's called. I think it's on a Indian preservation part.
Okay.
But I was like, we need it there. I'm going to bass fish like a motherfucker.
That's easier,
down there.
Yeah. You talked about, when she said something about eating bass, you don't, nobody eats bass.
I mean, my father-in-law will.
Nobody, everybody has, right?
I've seen them taken out. Yeah, I've seen people take them.
We were down at Union Hill in Virginia, our friend's property, and it's huge. Like, what's Union Hill? 600-ish acres or something like that?
Yeah. They have 1,000 acres between two properties, like right near each other, on a James River and on a Tye River. Horrible time. Never go.
Yeah, it's great. And what we do is ride four-wheelers, ride side-by-sides, hang out, let the kids. Well, there's a pond in there. The kids were down fishing. And my wife texted me, and she said, "You be ready. Like, your son is really excited." And so he comes back with a bass, like that big, and he like wanted to eat it. He was so fucking proud. Like, look at this, Dad, yeah. And he was just so proud to bring it back because we're gonna flay it and we're gonna eat it. And
you're like, I guess I'm eating.
I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. I don't want to stifle that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's a private farm pond, whatever. You kill a little bass, so him and Everett, their little boy, who's the same age.
Yeah.
We flayed that thing up and cooked it real quick on a little frying pan on the grill, and he was like, it was like a peak when everybody's like, "This is so good, Jerry. Thank you for bringing the fish back for us and dipping it."
Did you not tell everyone else, like, hey, they don't normally eat bass? Like, did everyone know that you don't know?
Everybody knows that. But I'm not going to tell him that's so excited that he brought back food for the family.
I think that
it was such a cool thing for him.
The fact that you didn't stifle that's awesome. Because, the pride, like, I think it is so fucking badass that, like, I can go out pretty much in my backyard. I was doing it all fall on my kayak, fishing for these stripers, like, right at the mouth of my creek, and bringing it back, and, like, I can literally, from, like, that same day, I can start to finish, catch it, fillet it, cook it, eat it, and people fucking love it. Same thing with the snakehead. I mean, nice. I got people that don't even eat fish. Like, I brought it to the first one we ever caught and took back. I didn't tell people what it was. I just brought it out to them, and they were like, "What is this? This is amazing." I was like, "It's fucking snakehead." Yeah. They were like, "Ugh, they're nasty." I'm like,
lied to them. I like that. I do it all the time with deer meat, man. Yeah. You like them burgers? Yeah, that was deer. Son of a bitch. And people say, I would never eat that. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
next barbecue you're going to.
Especially for a little kid and a little boy like that. I mean, I feel like that's instinctual. Like to the pride of like bringing something home and like being able to feed your family or just whatever. I mean, that's why.
Well, that's what was cool, right? Yeah. It's two tiny little like 2-ounce fillets. I mean, they were small. But everybody took a bite.
Yeah.
Like, and he was taking a plate around, and all of the adults sitting around in the chairs in the driveway, and he was so happy, man. I have a picture of him leaning up against the fence, like, looking at it, like,
Dude, I can't wait to get back to that river. That was my goal this year, is take my son and that one is the James River. It's a good one at the Union Hill. That one I like going and catching the smallmouth. I had it last time. I had caught some good smallmouth. I started with one good one, and I was like, damn, I'm not going to just kill this one I don't know. Like, I was like, man, I'm either going to do well or I'm not, but I won't know that until I fish them all. So I was like, I'm not going to kill any of these. I don't know how well I'm going to do.
Yeah.
But before, when he had first bought that property, it was like, it was a nice moment. I went out, I fished for probably like 5 hours. It takes about 5 hours to do the whole curve, and the topography, it changes like 5 times. It's really cool. And I went out and caught several smallmouth, brought them back, and John had just bought this property. There's nothing on it. We're in tents and campers. Nothing on this property. There's a lot more now, but I brought this. They're like, "Did you just catch all these fish?" I'm like, "Yeah, man. We're gonna fry these up. Like, we're gonna just like."
Dude, the old school fish fries are the best.
Oh yeah, it was like it's like we broke the bottle on the boat. We just you know what I mean. We just like we're gonna cook these fish up. And like we're gonna bless this property with these fish. And everybody's like, "Yo, this is great."
Yeah,
that is. You're gonna really love hunting as you get more and more into it.
Yeah.
For the same reasons, it's I don't want to say a bigger payoff. You get more food.
Oh, a deer.
For sure. I mean, that boar that I shot down in Florida. Yeah. So we weren't, I'm going to adjust myself. I feel like I'm like sitting too far back, but,
it's a lean back kind of chair,
Yeah. I feel real relaxed. But that boar that I caught in Florida, we got so much meat off that thing, and we weren't trophy like boar hunting. Yeah. We were going for meat because I'm not like just like with catch and release fishing. Like I don't need to eat it. Like I enjoy the sport of it, but I just as a human with morals, like I don't feel like I want to be able to take something home and not just kill something for the sake of killing it. Now, with that being said. The drake and the hen duck that I shot this past February, I had them mounted because it was one shot, killed both of them.
Oh, nice.
It was fucking awesome. And I was like these, and they were beautiful. And I was like, I'm keeping them forever. I'm admiring them. I'm having them mounted. So.
Yeah, I think that's completely fine.
Especially when you get a good-looking duck.
Mallards,
okay.
Yeah, when you get them, like, you get a good one, like a nice thick neck, a nice pretty coat, you're like, damn, it's a good-looking duck right there.
They were stunning. And my buddy that took us out, he even said, he was like, you have to. He was like, this is too good of a story. Yeah. It's your first time. I was the only one that got any that day, and one shot, it was awesome.
Yeah.
So,
that's a great memory.
Yeah. So I'm having those mounted.
It is a good memory, just like that bass. Like sometimes you just gotta mount something. Sometimes like, this is a great memory. Like, you know what I mean?
Tom caught that illegally in like a
allegedly, dude. Okay,
a retention pond down the beach.
I was working for Envirotech.
He had an Envirotech shirt on. They lied to a resident and said, "Yeah, we got to test this bass out. We're going to bring it back."
Where was that?
Bethany, you said? Right?
That was down South Delaware. I think I was near Bethany.
This was in Delaware? I feel like I only see bass like this, like, way
Florida,
south.
Texas.
Yeah, that's wild.
I'll tell you what. Our ponds, some of these ponds can produce some really nice bass.
There's bass like that in Garrison Lake, I was telling you.
And that's why, like, I only fish topwater, and because a lot of our water is shallow. So, I use a lot of topwater. That day, that happened like you can catch these, especially these big ones during the spawn. So like that one, I actually walked up on her. I get in a lot of times if I can. Back in that day, I was very young, but I would get in the water because then once if I can step like 4 feet into the water, I can, instead of like fishing center in, I can fish along the coast, and so I can leave whatever I have in a spot and just work the whole coast, which is a lot. It will produce better than like a fan. So usually I start like, if I'm on the left side of the bank, then I'll start to the right and I'll just fan my way in and just cover my grounds. But I know once I get to, like a lot of ours, once you get to the bank, I mean, there's something going to hit. Mm-hmm. And I walked up on, I was like, damn, that's a big beaver. I'm like, wait, that's not a fucking beaver. I was like, oh my God. And I looked at Otto, I was like, yo, get ready. I'm like, so I walk over and I just see her like in between some grass. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, this is a fucking big one, man. And then another like probably like 3-pounder pops right next to her. I was like, shit. And I had a lizard on because it's a spawn, so lizards eating are probably really aggressive for them, and so I cast it. The fucking 3-pounder takes it, like, motherfucker, comes out. I'm like, oh my God, it's gonna happen. And dude, I cast it in there, and at this time, I didn't have a lot of knowledge of good fishing until I met that guy at the backside of Garrison's who taught me a lot. But I had a microlight rod. That bitch broke the rod, broke the reel. All of it was done. All the line was shot. And I eventually got her up.
Like hand lining it in?
Yes, I was hand lining it in.
And
I saw Otto. Yeah, and Otto was like, Otto, and I cussed so much. Otto, you motherfucker, get that fucking. I was going crazy. I knew how big it was. And I saw him reach down with 2 hands. And in my head, I'm like, oh my God, he's reaching with 2 hands. And just like pulls out like this. And we're like,
oh my God.
And but then when we get back to the car, I was like, all right, we got to go. I'm like, I'm mounting this thing. And lady walks over, she's like, did you pull that out of the pond? I was like, it's okay, man, we're just working for Envirotech, we're just taking out for a sample. She's like,
research.
She's like,
development.
Okay, you know what I mean? I was like, see ya.
Okay, bye. Cover your license.
But yeah, you catch like that all the time. I watched a guy, the biggest one I've seen caught next to me was an 8-pounder out of Massey Mill. Oh, not Massey Mill, Duck Creek, right by the spillway. Mm-hmm. That guy was.
There's snake-ins in there too. Duck Creek Pond.
Yeah, back then when I was learning how to first, which I don't do now, I kind of feel bad for him, but like I used to take 2 rods, a can of corn, go like 5 in the morning, and there's a spillway here, and then so there's a dam. The spillway's right here. There's like a little, just a little retention of water. Shit ton of sunnies and pumpkins and all that, and then right here is the dam. So you just take 1 rod, piece of corn, boom, crowd sunny, hook it up the top, throw it out, and like you just feel it, and then you just feel it. Whoosh, wait a couple seconds, boom, and you got a big one. I don't like it because they end up swallowing it, so you're more likely going to kill a bass. I was like, all right, I'm not doing this. But the guy next to me, who was doing the same thing, he pulled out a fucking 8-pounder right there, measured it, weighed it right there. I was like, fuck, pulled out a fatty, dude.
Well, that's what most people aren't going to fish with sunnies or big giant shiners.
It forces a big one to eat it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But it was, we have big ones for sure. That was a wild one. And, but I love bass fishing.
Yeah,
I love top. I only do top water. I'll do like a Mismo, like a little tube, or a spinner or something. Like that's about it for me underneath the water. But it's all top water for me. I love it.
I'm a big chatterbait girl. That's
I never fished those.
Versatile.
What do you use for your snakeheads?
Every single snakehead. So frogs are really big where I'm from. I try. I'm just not like patient enough for it. Yeah. I need to do it because like I want one to hit like bad. But the one company that I use a lot of their jig heads, it's no live bait needed. They're based out of Florida, so a lot of their lures and stuff are made for snook and redfish and tarpon and stuff like that. But they're also perfect for rockfish. But they make these little like mini mullet things that they're almost like they're pretty much top water. And one just smacked the shit out of this little mini mullet on top water, and like the frogs I want to see that more because it's fucking awesome when they do it. It's like a gunshot goes off with that pop.
Yeah.
But the frogs are just notoriously hard to set the hook. Now I have a buddy that he almost exclusively fishes frogs, and he's incredible. I think he's on like 120 snakeheads this year that he's caught. He's phenomenal, and that's like all. I mean, he just loves the frogs. I just can't get into it, so I'm a big chatterbait person.
They do miss. Sometimes I'll take another hook and set it on the hook, have a little follower because they do. Even the bass, they will miss. And top water, you got to be like, especially a bigger bass, like you got to be just like a little more patient before you set that thing because you're gonna pull it right out of its mouth.
Well, and that's what they say is you definitely want to make sure that it's on there before you set the hook, but. A lot of the guys will, because those topwater frogs, because you want them to be weedless, because they'll fish in those pads, and they'll like just very slightly like pull the tips out just a little bit so that you have a better hook set on them.
But they don't come with like offset, right? You're talking offsetting from the shank of the hook.
Yeah, just
they don't
just
come
a little
like
bit. Some of them do. Some of the guys make them like that, but also you lose a little bit of the weedless aspect. Which if you
some will have just the blade. I mean, the hook be just set back on another 2 inches just out of its ass.
Yeah.
And it's just sitting there.
We talk about. I think you have the same.
You get them with spinners on.
Rockfish. Restrictions, no offset circle hooks, right?
Yeah, you have to use circle hook, especially
and it can't be offset, right?
Not offset, but only with live lining and bait. I think.
Yeah, and it makes a difference in your hookups for sure.
Yeah,
I mean that little tiny offset in a hook versus a straight. There's a noticeable difference in you actually hooking a fish.
The idea of it is to avoid them swallowing it.
Right.
That's the science behind it. Now, it's just things that they are more likely to swallow. Now with jigs and things like that, there's no rule with that. But with the
do you have top water on you today?
Yes.
Okay. Because there's just nothing, for me at least, there's nothing better than going to a quiet ass pond. It's just quiet, and you
early in the morning
throw out a top water. It's like and then boom. Like you want to wake up. Like sometimes I'm like when Josh and I used to go fishing a lot. I'm like, yo, I'm about to wake this pond up. Throw out a spinner, just buzz bait, and just fan it, and just boom. It is adrenaline rush for me, man.
It is fun. I haven't done
top water. I mean, that's
snakehead. I mean, they'll definitely hit top water.
They seem aggressive.
And later in the season, I know a lot of people like the buzz baits. But you also have to be like snakeheads are not these I mean, they're voracious predators, don't get me wrong, but they're not like a bass that I feel like will just like smack the shit out of anything. Like they spook so easily, and they're not like they're real finicky with stuff, and what works one day doesn't. Like they're hard to figure out. I mean, I still have not figured them out, and I've been fishing for them for a little bit.
That's what makes it fun too.
Yeah, they're very frustrating fish, but they're worth it when you.
So my buddy that's big into it, all he uses is frogs. That's it. He's like, I just got to a point where it doesn't matter the time of year. It doesn't matter. He's like, that's just all. I might change colors or whatever.
Like a spro or
I don't know. I'm not versed enough in snakeheads, but he talks about the patience of casting it and just let it sit. He's like, set the rod down,
let the ripples go, and I'm just not
half on, half off a lily pad. Just a little bit of action.
He's like he likes to get his head right when he's out there. So I'll just cast. Hit my bowl a minute, sit there, chill, then just reeled in a little bit, stop, set my rod. He's like, and he says that about his friends are like, it's painful for them to see. But he catches more than them, too. Right. So he just like figures it out.
Because he knows, boring. I mean, that's how you, with those frogs, that's how you, it just has to be so slow.
Yeah.
Now, chatterbait's kind of the same thing with subsurface for them. Like, you can really do it any time of year. Now, some people will say otherwise, but every single snakehead that I've caught has been on a chatterbait. And I throw a lot of different shit at them. There's a couple areas, like, some coves and stuff where I can't use them as much, even the weedless ones, because they just it's so sloppy in there that you really can't. So with those, if I want to do subsurface, I'll do the little, like, high-tech grub with the paddle tail, and then just have, like, a weedless with the twisty. Like, that's what I like. And those work. I mean, those do work well.
Do you ever use hula poppers?
I have them, yeah.
Yeah, those are good here. Like a nice patient hula popper, just
yeah, I mean,
just
they'll hit
the
water ploppers. They'll do all that stuff. I'm just not patient.
It does take patience, man. I'm more focused on like one really good cast. That's why typically I try to, if I'm like just going to a reservoir pond, I might just step in and get the coast and just get the bank and just fucking work that bank with something. Yeah, because you need like one really good cast, and then you can work it for like a minute or two.
All this freshwater fishing, but you have a place in Fenwick. Is that what we talked about?
Yes. Yeah.
So, like, aren't you out chasing flounder, too, right now?
So you're down the beach.
So
nice.
Yeah.
Apparently, I rode right by your house in my boat Memorial Weekend.
Oh.
I think we probably had to cross paths. That one day we were out though, like we were over by Fishtails, and it was like super foggy. The one day over Memorial Day, it was like
Sunday.
Yeah,
Sunday.
Well, was
cool.
We've taken the boat up there like a handful of times, but that water is so different than what we're accustomed to. I mean, there's sandbar. Like you have to know where you're going.
You just gotta go slow. Just take your time.
Thank God we were with one of my buddies who lives up there now. They're from Catonsville area, but they moved to Selbyville, and thank God he was out with us because he's got a pontoon, so he's out there all the time. But he told my husband who was driving like where all these sandbars were, but it got so foggy, and my husband started going across he was trying to cut straight across over to Fishtails. I was like, don't do that. I was like, there's a fucking sandbar. Like,
you guys stay in the channels, dude.
Yep.
There's no I don't even have a depth finder in mine. Everybody thinks I'm crazy. I'm like, what the fuck? You gotta stay in the channel. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There's no that fucking place, you in the channel.
Yeah.
That day you're talking about, when that fall rolled in, it was wild. And it was real rough that day, too.
Yeah.
So we went through, what do they call that canal? That's between Asswoman and the Ocean City Bay or whatever, like when you pass by, is it Harborside? No.
Yeah.
The big restaurant by the bridge by 54. Is it 54? Is that Harborside?
Oh, no.
Harborside is in Ocean City.
Mm-hmm.
So we went through that canal, I'll call it, and poked out, and like you couldn't see shit, and it was like pretty bumpy. And I have a 22-foot center console, but it's a bay boat. It's a V-hull, but. And I had my wife and her girlfriend and my mom beating the shit out of them and that. So we turn around, and that's when I was telling you we wanted to go eat dinner. We got a spot, and the fog rolled in. A big boat pulled up there, and I got chatting with him, and he said, I used radar to get here. He said, I couldn't see anything. Yeah. So that's the only way he navigated. He came from Harborside, from like the public ramp area in Ocean City, all the way up to Harpoon Hannah's.
That's our next investment is radar.
It's so great.
Because we fish at night. Like I took our boat down with a buddy of mine to Hooper's Island, and we were fishing for drum at night. And luckily, where we were going, it was kind of just a hop, skip, and a jump away from where we launched. So I knew and the nice thing about that part of the bay is there's really nobody out there, so I'm not like fighting a million or like having to dodge crab pots and stuff like that. So I knew the ride back as long as I kept an eye on the depth, and I mean we have the GPS and everything and the map and the chart, so like I just followed my line back, and I knew that the tide had been coming in, so it was going to be higher if not lower, but it was windy as shit, and even though I knew there was nothing like out there that I was going to be hitting, it's so unnerving not having radar, like trying to see, I'm like hanging over the helm, like trying to see what I'm doing. Like I have the light bar and it's not doing shit. It's just like illuminating maybe like a foot in front of me. So
it almost makes it worse. Some light bars almost
you can't. It's like
I switch on and off. Like I kind of like try to see like what I like better. And luckily, my buddy was on the other side. And I was like, just fucking tell me if I'm gonna hit something. I was like, I know that there's not really much out here right now, but it's unnerving.
Isn't it wild that moving your head around my console like makes it better? You think. It's like it feels like such a stupid move, but like it does help.
Oh,
100%. Your windshield, but like if I'm at nighttime, I do the same exact thing. I'll just stand and my hands on the wheel and I'm just standing to the side driving because I feel like I could see better.
Yeah.
My move, because I'm I'm not super short, but I'm not tall. I'll stand on the bar of the seat and I like reach up and over and I'm like sitting there like this, like trying to navigate and drive.
It's like I feel like it's almost the equivalent of like turning the radio down to see better when you're driving.
I do that every time.
I do the same thing.
I did it on the way here because I missed your turn coming in, but I do it all the time. So I'm like, well, I can't focus. I can't see if the music is too loud.
I caught myself yesterday doing it with the radio on my boat. We were pulled up into Paradise Grill.
Yeah.
And, like on the boat, and like I turned the radio down just to document. Like, it's so stupid. Why do you do that?
I just stand up the whole time. I have a pontoon right there that stays in the water at the Indian River Inlet. But like when I get everybody on my boat, people sit up in front and shit. I'm like, I can't even see. I just like stand up, my foot on my like 1 foot on my chair, and I just to even see everybody. I'm like, hey, motherfucker, sit down for a second. Like,
so how big's your boat? 25 foot.
Yeah.
So you're going to get radar, get autopilot too.
Yeah, I mean that's so.
They got freaking autopilot.
We've gone back and forth because we don't know because eventually we have it's a 250 Yamaha show, so it's a super high output engine. So I mean she goes. I mean it puts off some power, but we would really like to have something that we can take offshore. Not that we can't do it now, but when you're 90 miles offshore, I want 2 engines just in case something happens.
And the fuel capacity too.
What's the fuel capacity? Yeah, we have like a 75 gallon.
That's not enough.
It is efficient though, like that, because it's a smaller boat. It's not so it doesn't burn up quite as much as some of the other bigger boats. But so we've gone back and like, do we want to put the money into this? But I'm like, for the time being, with interest rates being what they are, I was like, let's just we take this boat out too much, and I'm doing too much sketchy fishing with it to not have that kind of stuff. Like when the trophy stripers were out, there was one day that I was captaining, and I had like. These are all pretty well-versed, not just anglers, but they also are, like, boat savvy, too. And they were all out with me, thank God, because it was, this fog was, you could not see a foot in front of you. Yeah. And this is when the whole, we nickname it the fleet. The fleet's out. So, like, there's a million fucking boats out there. And, of course, we can't see birds, so we're just sort of, blind, just watching the fish finder, going to spots that we knew were holding fish, and, but we're in the channel, so this is from the harbor, going out to the ocean, these giant tankers and shipping container shipping container ships. All these boats are out there, and at one point we're in the we're sort of right on the cusp, like the edge of the channel, like where it drops off, and out of the distance we just hear the of the fucking foghorn of this. We knew it was a huge ship, and we were like, oh god. And it was relentless. It was not letting up because it knew. I'm sure it saw on its radar all these fucking little boats, and we can't see anybody, so we think we're the only ones out there. At one point, thank God, I was looking, and I saw this boat like hauling ass, like coming this direction, and we're heading right for them. And luckily, we went this way, they went that way. Like we waved to each other.
Yeah.
I wasn't flying that day because I knew.
Does the radar pick up other boats?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
like
so you
miles away.
But how? Miles away. Not like shit.
No. No.
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty powerful, and I know that shipping container, I'm sure, saw these little fucking assholes all over the place, like going in circles, right? So
people love hanging out on the channels.
It gets closer and closer and closer, and like because we can hear it, we can't see it, but we can hear it. The next thing I know, it looks like a freaking like we're about to go into a building. I'm like,
oh my god,
there it is, it's right there. So I'm getting out of the way, but radar for sure. We need it.
We'll go offshore, tuna fishing, and we'll leave at like 3 a.m. It's dark as could be, and you're just heading east, and you have to have. I mean, all the equipment obviously is you need radar. You don't need it, but makes it easier, safer. You can see, and autopilot is nice too because it keeps you straight. It's not like you're not you let go of steering wheel, but it keeps you straight and it fights the current and all that, and all the waves and all that. Where if I'm steering, your line is probably like this. And so it's more fuel efficient too, and it'll get you there quicker. But just at some point you go, all right, well, I'm just going to trust in my instruments, and you're hammered down as fast as you can safely go at 3 a.m. and you're running 60 miles, so you just sit there and just...
There's that reel.
Yeah. What's it like when you get on like a boat that somebody's like very confident with and it just fucking flies out there? Do you hit like a road like wave sometimes and just like, oh,
every once in a while. So like I'm the type of guy that I could shut all the dangers off, and like if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. I sleep like a baby on a beanbag on the way out. I'll just, all right, we're good. We're through the inlet. It is the best sleep ever. Through the inlet. All right, we got 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I'll just get that beanbag in the cockpit and settle in there, and then just let the hum of those Suzukis put me to sleep. And then every once in a while you'll feel. What always wakes me up is when the engines slow down, like the change in the RPMs. Yeah, like, and then you open your eyes, like, oh, it's light out now. Okay, so I guess we're going to get ready. But you just let it go, and, it's going to happen, it's going to happen. I trust Paul. I got to go with, or anybody I go with, I trust them. They're good captains, so he don't want to wreck his fucking boat. You know what I mean? And if something does happen, it's going to happen.
How often are you guys coming to Fenwick?
I mean, we come fairly often.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to come more now. For a while we weren't, just because we had a lot of stuff going on that we just didn't make our way up there.
Yeah.
And also this past year, my dad, so it's in Swan Keys, so it's just a little mobile home out there. And it was older. I mean, it still had like the old school wood paneling, which in a way I loved, because
nice.
That was like my memories of growing up there. And like the freaking like moss green carpet, like, and just like the flower wallpaper, but I loved it. But last year my dad was, he just wanted to update it a little bit, clean everything up. Some of the floors were starting to like sag a little bit and things like that. So we didn't go up there too much because we knew he was doing a bunch of work and we didn't want to bother with it. But now that that's done, we'll be up there quite a bit, I'm sure.
Will you guys hang out on like the bay side? Like, will you come hang out in like the bay and hit a sandbar and hang out?
Yeah.
Like just drink, or do you always want to fish?
I would love to always fish, but my husband loves and now that the weather is getting warmer too, I mean, that's the thing, is the last couple months, it just hasn't been that time of year. Now that it's getting warmer, we're going to be doing more and more of that. Like down my way in Pasadena, there's a couple like areas where, last year we had at one point like 20 boats, like all just hooked up together, like, with the floaties and the drinks, and I mean, we'll hang out. They have grills on the boat, what I mean? Yeah. So we'll do that quite a bit.
That's what weekend.
Yeah, that's why I do. Him to go. Yeah, that's why I do my kids. I just bought like a 16-foot floating pad so my kids can get on and actually free my wife up from holding one of them. And yeah, it's nice. It's nice to be out there and just like, all right, this is all we're doing. Let's just chill.
Yeah, just floating.
Yeah, we hang in Dewey a lot. We'll ride from Lewis to Dewey and hang out behind the Rusty Rudder, and you always see people or people that's in town come out and see you. And just last Saturday we were there from probably 10:30 a.m. until 6:30 p.m. just floating, hanging out. And 3 of us rode down from Lewis in my boat, but at one time there was probably 10 or 11 people out there with us, just hanging out.
We love that. We'll do that all the time. Yeah. I mean, it's a hop, skip, and a jump to get to the creek that we do it in. So we'll invite my parents love it too. So we'll go out and be out there all day.
Yeah.
One, it's been a great conversation. It flows pretty naturally from one thing into another. But I want to talk about, you were telling me how you kind of accidentally became a fishing influencer. Really you wanted to help your buddies out with their stuff and kind of promote their jazz. You boosted pretty quick, like as far as like followers and people, right? I mean, because it's only been a couple years.
Less than that, January of this year. Fuck. Yeah. Started doing it on my personal pages like last year. So, like I would say maybe August of last year is when I really started getting into it big time. But those are all my personal pages. I didn't start. So the way that all happened, I did the Tiki Lee's Rockfish tournament last year with the guys from Hogfin. They asked me to fish the tournament with them. And so Heather Smith, she was on Naked and Afraid on the Discovery Channel. She works with Hogfin now. She's one of their pro staff members. So she obviously is big time on social media because that's what she literally does for a living. She's a big outdoors woman, so she's promoting these brands, and so that's literally her full-time job. So her and I got a chance to meet fishing this tournament together, and she was like, is that something that you're interested in? I was like, no, like not really. I mean, I'm doing it for them because women are like a niche market in this. Like they're up and coming. They're becoming bigger in this type of like the outdoors world. Mm-hmm. So I knew that like me being a woman, it was going to draw more attention to their brand. So it was mostly for them. But she was like, well, what about like you? Like she's like I don't know. She pretty much convinced me to do it. She was like, you have this persona about you. She's like, I could just see you doing well with it. She's like, you're genuine. You're not fake. You're not putting something on. She's like, just try it. And she actually walked me through like just getting started. So I started that January of this year, and I'm still very new to that whole side of things. Mm-hmm. I'm learning filming, and I'm learning like how to do it right and editing and all that kind of stuff. That's completely like
you
new
all
territory.
Do it yourself.
I do it all myself.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass, isn't it?
It's fucking terrible. But I'm not at the level where I want to bring up. I'm also a control freak. Like I'm very I have a buddy of mine. We're complete polar opposites when it comes to like just life in general and fishing especially. But I'm very like all of my shit's organized. It's labeled. Like I know where all of my stuff is. Same thing with my editing. Like I don't want. I have a certain aesthetic and thing that I'm going for. I don't want somebody else to, at this point anyway, like put their 2 cents. You know what I mean? Like it's sort of like my thing.
Is that a woman thing? You think?
What do you think?
Maybe. Is that sexist, Tom?
Is that sexist?
My husband would say yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just it's cool, and I enjoy it. Like the editing part is fun for me. I wish there was more hours in the day because I don't do this full time. I'm a dental hygienist. That's what I do for a living for work, and I work full time. You asked me earlier like when I have time to do this stuff. So definitely on the weekends. I have Fridays off, which is awesome because a lot of the spots that I like to go to, it's more and more people are taking off Friday, but for the most part I can go, and I'm pretty much like by myself, which I prefer, especially when I'm kayak fishing and stuff like that. I prefer to do it alone. Yeah. My dad, he retired a couple years ago, so he's been big and like coming with me and stuff. He likes it too, but he knows like when we're out there, it's all like you can do your thing, I'll do my thing.
Don't be catching my damn fish.
That's a nice, but it's still you're doing it together. You're enjoying each other's time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's a really nice thing. Nice thing to do. So you a year ago, it's not like, oh, I want to become a fishing influencer. How do I do that?
No, it was all happenstance.
And now do you want to do it? Now you're like, I kind of
full
like
time?
This. Yeah. Would you like to just, eventually
once
stop digging in people's mouths,
sure,
and I can make a living off of fishing?
It would be cool. At some, like one of my short-term goals is to get my captain's license because I would like to be able to do more of that. The part of me that like would if I could make the influencing thing and potentially doing like guides and charters and things like that, I would definitely be interested in. I wouldn't want to exclusively do like chartering or something like that because there's too many factors involved of doing something like that, and it's so unpredictable. Yeah. I also don't hate my job as a hygienist, and I kind of like the idea that this is still fun for me. It's not my job, and I don't want to ever lose that love for it because I feel like I feel pressured now, and I don't have that many sponsors, but like when people are nice enough to reach out to me, and like everybody that I've worked with so far, they've been great. We're very much on the same page. If they're trying to grow, I'm trying to grow. Yeah. We're all kind of growing together. It's not like I have these huge companies at this point anyway, like reaching out to me where I feel like I have to do this. But I still feel obligated because I'm like, they're nice enough to send me stuff. I want to be able to make something cool. Yeah. But I also don't want to half-ass it and just make a stupid like unboxing video like, oh, look, I actually want to be using this shit. Like I want to show a fucking awesome video of me using, or like the video I made a couple weeks ago on my buddy's boat. He uses all of Lendog's tackle. Like that's all the rigs that he had were these tandem rigs, and we were able to have an awesome day, and I was able to get some awesome, pictures and footage of us, reeling in these fish, but using his shit, like actually using it. So that's where I kind of have this, I don't want to lose that aspect either and, sell out, I guess, you know? it's always weird to me when people like ask me to do stuff or like want to work with me, and because I'm just like I don't have that many like people that are following me. You know what I mean? Like it feels weird.
So you feel like when like schmucks like us ask you to come on a podcast?
I was surprised. It's always surprising when somebody, especially one that I don't like know or know through the grapevine. Yeah. I'm sure we probably do know like mutual people at some point or another.
Oh, you're in Delaware. We definitely.
Well, it's just like the algorithm, right? Like we like outdoor stuff, we like hunting, we like fishing, and then you follow one person and another, then things come up on your pages, and I don't know when I came across you, whatever, and kind of scrolling your page, and I was just like, all right, well, she's pretty legit, and she doesn't have 1 million followers, so I might be able to get a hold of her. Yeah, let me try this because it's
we ask small, big, all of it. Yeah, we like everyone.
Yeah, we've one of the first people I ever reached out to was Hannah Barron, and she blew up a handful of years ago. You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, which actually there may be a chance we get to have an opportunity from like a 1 degree. Like I would like to get linked up with her, with that comedian Matt Matthews. Yeah. He's going to go noodling with her. Our friend Kale Lowry, Teen Mom, whose podcast, she's friends with Matt Matthews. We're actually taking him crabbing in August. They're going to come up here for me, him, Kale, Matt Matthews, cameraman on my boat, crabbing.
We got to get our shit together.
Yeah, have you? I don't know if you've ever seen this. She's Kale's assistant is booking a cameraman.
Shut the fuck up.
So
we got to show up.
He's hilarious. He's a hilarious comedian.
Good for camera.
But he's gonna hopefully come do a show here with us while he's in Delaware.
I'll rock some of that gear you gave us.
And
you gotta. Everybody's gotta win.
But
everybody's gotta win.
Well, that's why I brought. Thank God I remembered. See, I'm not a good influencer. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not good at promoting myself.
We're the same exact way. I told him, I was like, we gotta get fucking pictures because like we'll have a guest in either on virtually or in here. Like we need to take a picture. Jesus Christ, man! We're so stupid that we can't. Yeah. We need this content to.
We are blessed that we do have Kale, who is kind of mentors us, tries to help. She'll call them, hey, you guys need to get your shit together.
Yeah,
you need to post more. You need to do this.
Like, you guys got potential, like, but isn't it tough having a full-time job and
I feel bad that you got to do. He does all the editing. I have absolutely no time. Like when we get done here, I have 700 things to do after this.
Yeah.
Like we have 5 businesses all together partnered with, so it's fucking crazy. I have people working right now in jobs that like.
And he's in construction, so it's not like I'm a realtor. I could work wherever. Yeah. I was down the beach all day yesterday, crabbing at restaurants, and I worked throughout the day. He can't do that. He can't swing hammers virtually.
I can't either. Yeah. Like I literally can only do my job from my office. And like lately, I don't know what it is, but I've just been getting my ass kicked at work. Like sometimes, like I'll have time to like do other things like on my computer or whatever. But like lately, I can't even look at my phone. Like I just remembered that I had this going on with you guys. That's why I texted you because I was
Thank
like,
God you didn't cancel on us.
No. I wouldn't do that. But I forgot that my husband has this. He does a cornhole tournament. It's the Buckets. His nickname at work. So he's a contractor. When he was over in Afghanistan, he kept saying like buckets when he would throw the cornhole, and it just stuck. So now everybody where he works, that's his name. So he does the Buckets Invitational Cornhole Classic every year, and it's gotten pretty big. All of his work people come, but like people outside of his work realm come too. And we have that tomorrow, and then we're leaving for Wisconsin on Sunday. I have not packed. Literally out on the kayak, I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. He was like, why don't we just like on the ride from the airport to, because they're flying out of a different airport, we'll brainstorm and we'll come up with ideas. And I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, I got this drone I want to try out. Like I got a really nice new drone that I'm going to bring on this trip. But it's hard to follow up with everything.
Oh, you got time to kayak, but you can't call me up, huh? No, that's what you feel like, right?
Literally, I feel so guilty, but then I'm also like, I need to fucking use this shit that people are sending me, and like I have to get out there to
everyone pulling you from a different direction.
It's so funny because like it's such a blessing that you have those opportunities, right? And some people will be like, what the fuck is she complaining about? Like it's such, but I get it 100%. I'm
not complaining.
No, I know.
By
I know
any stretch of the imagination, I think it is incredible. I mean, this trip that I'm going on, the captain found me on Instagram. First, I thought it was a scam. I thought, he was I thought he was trying to like because he asked me, he was like, I'd like to invite you to like, come out and fish out here. And I was like, are you inviting me to like use your charter, or are you inviting me to like have me come? Yeah, pretty much. I didn't want to be like because I'm nobody. Yeah. I don't expect anything for free. It's something that I probably, I would have done anyway, but I didn't know what he was getting at. And he was like, no, he's like, if you want to throw in some like gas money or whatever, he's like, but just if you can get here, like, I'll take you out. And so, it's awesome because I probably wouldn't have had this opportunity, or like wouldn't have thought to do this on my own, because like I don't know anything about Wisconsin, Lake Michigan, salmon fishing. Like I wouldn't have planned a trip like that without somebody reaching out to me. But now I'm able to go, and I'm able to team up with, a couple of guys that are doing like great things, that I'm trying to do more for and be a part of. They're able to come out, and we're able to have this awesome trip and do something new. So it's awesome. Like, I'm definitely not complaining, but it's hard when you're getting, like you said, getting pulled in a bunch of different directions, not to mention like just real life stuff. Like this past weekend, like I had a wedding to go to. I had, like just my actual life.
Yeah,
like,
you got a husband, you got friends, you want to just maybe not have a phone in front of
you.
Hey,
get all done now before you get the kids. They really fuck it up.
I fucking I don't like being on my phone constantly. I don't like being like tied to social media. That's why like pretty much like I'll make a post. I try to check it, like periodically and stuff, but there's times where like I will not, I don't even go on because I'm like, I just need to like live.
Disconnect a little.
Now, do you have to like, now since you are a woman and probably, I guess, a male dominant thing, do you have to like pre-screen like creepers? You're like, all right, this guy just reached out. They want to talk, like, is this guy?
Yeah, well, is your
like,
guard up?
I gotta go on a boat with this dude or something. Like, how do you like?
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
Hey, you want to come on my boat with me?
Right, and I mean, I'm not stupid either. Like when this guy reached out to me, we talked for a while, and I wanted to see where he was coming from, what he was getting at. Like, was he trying to get me to go there alone? Because like, no, like that's not going to happen. But he was like, bring your family. Bring, whoever. Like, if you want to bring a film crew, like whatever you want to do. And like, the more we talk, and I also looked at his fucking website, and he's legit. Like, he's a real charter captain. But yeah, I mean, and thank God, like my husband and I have a very like trusting and just like realistic relationship where he knew, like, he's the one that tries to like get me to put myself out there more.
Maybe you should wear a bikini on this picture.
Hey, you want to blow up faster?
Did he tell you that?
Oh my God, yeah. And I'm like, I'm not trying. Like,
you don't want to be one of those, like, have you ever seen the golf influencer chicks that what they wear, like, you ain't wearing that golfing. Come on. Yeah.
Well, even
don't
like
sell your soul.
Well, no, and like the picture that you see of the girls offshore, and like they're airbrushed and shit. Like that is
the
not
offshore
what you
ones.
Look like if you really did everything to catch that.
Ain't nobody gaffing tuna looking like that.
No, like if you and I mean, there's nothing wrong with like going out on somebody's boat, letting them and like reeling in the like whatever. If that's your thing, like by all means, if you want to look beautiful doing it, fine. I think it's cooler when you see a girl that's fucking dirty and like from start to finish doing everything on their own. Like that's just what it, attracts me to it more. And honestly, like it might be slower growth, like in the beginning, but I think the message that you're sending is better. You're making yourself more approachable to more actual legit companies that you may want to use and work with. Yeah. And like the other day, I got asked to influence for this similar to like the hoop teas or like the surf sides or those iced tea drinks. They're based out of California. I guess they're an up and coming brand, like alcohol brand. And I've thought about it for a minute. I was like, do I want to do that though? I was like, I don't know that I want to get involved necessarily with alcohol at this point. Like, I don't know. Like I kind of want to stick to stuff that is relevant to what I'm doing. Like, do I enjoy those things while I'm out on the boat not fishing? Yeah, but that's not really what my page is.
Yeah, right.
So, like, I don't think I'm going to do it. But
you do after fishing stuff. It can give you the opportunity to make more content on the sandbar.
Yeah. Right, and I'm not like opposed to any of that stuff. It's all stuff that I enjoy doing. Yeah. But
it's better if you build it that way. That way, when you make it, and then you can not say look down at those people, but you can be at a cleaner status and saying like, you know what, I made it a clean way. I made it on my own way. Right. So when you're in the same room as these other people, you're like, nah, I am the baddest bitch. You know what I mean? Well, I didn't have to sell my soul to get here.
And
you know what I mean?
Cool, like especially like in Maryland, and when you talk to like people that are serious about this shit or do it all the time or, you know, have a business doing it or whatever, like, especially because it is a male-dominated industry, like, when you show up and they actually see that you know what the fuck you're doing and you're not just, like, a girl, you know, that, like, can't put, you know, her own, like, bait on or whatever, like, and is running the boat, like, from start to finish doing everything, like, it's a lot of respect that they have for you, and,
that fly's aggressive. I'm sorry.
It's all good. I need to, like, take it with me.
Dude, I come here in the morning, I try to swat whatever, open the door, try to kick them all out, you know.
No, you're good. They're good. But,
I think we might have chatted about this on the phone the other day, but it's, I like what you're doing. I have a 10-year-old daughter that she's not overly into the outdoors. Like, she likes to crab because there's action. She doesn't, fishing's a little bit boring to her. She will go hunting with me for me.
Yeah.
Like, if I say, hey, you want to go deer hunting? She's like, yeah, she'll go. She has zero interest in shooting anything, whatever. She doesn't care. Like, she's not, like, upset about it.
Yeah.
But she likes when I shoot deer, but I know she does it for me, not for her, right? But it's nice. And if she never gets into it like I do, that's completely fine. I really don't care. But thinking about these up-and-coming, like, legit outdoors females, like yourself, or like a Hannah Barron, that's, like, they're getting bloody and muddy and dirty and doing the things. It's nice to know that, like, she'll be able to see that's out there, because when I was a kid, that wasn't a thing.
Right.
There was no such thing as a legit outdoors woman. So it's being a girl dad. I like that this is becoming way more popular. Not bikini shots holding up mahi, like actual fishermen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think I'm in a unique position as well, because it's later in my life that I'm getting more into. I mean, I've always been an outdoorsy person, and I was a tomboy growing up, but I went through my phase of, like, being a typical girl, and I still like, that's what's cool about it, is all of my girlfriends that can get down and dirty and do everything that, you know, they're doing and be very good at it.
Yeah.
We can go and, like, you know, chill on my patio and, like, have a glass of wine and, like, gossip. You know, like, we talk just as much shit as the guys do, but, like, probably worse.
Oh, 100%.
We have fouler mouths. Like, that's what is so funny was, like, having, you know, these, some of my guy friends come out with us. They're like, damn, like, you guys are, like, worse than we are. I'm like,
little pirates out there.
Yeah, like, we are, like, little scumbags out there, you know?
Yeah, and you know what else is worse with females is the fucking bathrooms. A woman's bathroom is way more disgusting than a man's bathroom.
Dude, I used to live with a lot of women every summer at the beach house, and luckily we always had an outdoor shower, and I claimed it. I put all my shit in there because first off, the whole house sinks up. Every woman sinks up.
We are disgusting.
I'm like, how many times is this shower going to clog? How much hair is falling off your guys' heads? First off, and then what the fuck is in the trash can?
They do this move. They take it and then rub it on the shower wall.
And it's like, hey, how high can you pile the tampons? How high can they get? Like, what the fuck is in this bathroom right now? You know what I mean? And how many, like, just, like, it's like a Christmas tree of lights in there of fucking straighteners, blowers, all this shit on a 30-inch bed.
See, now
well, it's worse when we get adult women together, because we don't give a fuck anymore. We're not trying to impress you guys anymore. Like, we could care less. So, like, we are going to be as raunchy and as gross. Like, I don't care. Like, I have nobody that I'm trying to impress here. So,
well, just like bad. The fishing and outdoor stuff, the real shit is what's good. That's
that's what we like.
Yeah. We're in gym shorts.
Yeah.
Hair up in a bun. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The real stuff. The real stuff is always the best stuff.
Yeah. And, like, we're all in our 30s now. Like, we don't care. Like,
oh, my God. You guys are young.
Yeah. Young Jerry's 68, so. Yeah.
You look great for you.
That's why I started doing lying about being older. I'm like, oh, my gosh, you really look good for being 60. That's crazy. All right. So I want to be respectful of your time. I know you want to get out and go fishing. It'd be pretty sweet if you called a Delaware snakehead today.
Yeah.
You don't think it's too late in the day?
I'll shout you guys out if I do. No.
What time is it?
That's what I'm saying. They are not like normal fish. Like the tides play a little bit of a factor with them, obviously, because that plays into the bait and everything. But they are just. I've caught them first thing in the morning. I've caught them in the evening. I've caught them midday. Like they have no pattern. Mm-hmm.
I know what I wanted to ask you before I forget. Before we wrap this up, do you know Luke McFadden? Crabber, we talked about that, right?
Yeah.
We want to get him on.
No, was he the one with the podcast?
No, he has the he's a crabber in Pasadena.
He's big on Instagram and like TikTok and all that.
Okay.
And what's cool about him is, like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but he doesn't come from a lineage of watermen. Like, isn't he like the first in his family? Like, I think I've seen him say, like, my dad wasn't a crabber.
Yeah.
I just figured it out.
That's kind of how it was with me too. Is like, and that's what I was getting at before. Is that it's later in life that this is becoming more of a thing for me. Like, I just happen to find a passion for it on, like, kind of on my own. Like, yes, I was raised to do things outside and all of that, but the message is that you don't need to, like, have a background in it, or like you can learn anything at any point in your life if you want to. And that's like, Luke, he's and it's cool that he's local. Nothing about him he's one of those people that, like, he's just as genuine as, like, on social media as he is, like, in person. Like, he hasn't, that fame has not changed who he is as a person.
Yeah, I hope we get to meet him someday, because he does seem like that. Yeah. And, like, isn't that great that you can do anything you want at any time? It doesn't matter. And it's easier now than it's ever been in human history to just be like, starting this podcast. Let's start a podcast. Yeah. There's no permission needed. You don't need to find an agent. I want to start fishing. I'm just going to go do it. Yeah. And you want to learn. There's YouTube University. There's other people that you meet that are always willing to help you. Everybody wants to help somebody. Yeah. If they get into their hobby, like, you want to learn how to hunt and all that. Like, I would love to help you, right? Because everybody wants to help things that they're passionate about.
Yeah.
So it's just so nice that when you realize, like, I don't have to just not do this.
It's also nice to see how many people just close to us are popular or doing well with the same thing. So it's like, we don't need to, like, call some hot shots on the West Coast or something. Like, we got the shit right in our backyard, and we like to talk to everybody and make a little.
There's a lot in Maryland. I mean, there's a lot of big
friends here.
Yeah.
Don't you guys? What? Don't you guys know someone that works at or started?
I know everyone.
Pure Lore.
I know everyone. Yeah. There's no one I don't know.
Oh my
Name them right now. All right,
Pure Lore.
I'm War Child, dude. I know everybody. I've been in the jungle. All right, I've been in the trenches with everyone.
Didn't you guys know someone that started that or helped start it or something?
Pure Lure?
Yeah.
No.
Maybe it was Ryan.
Ryan. Yeah, maybe Ryan.
I don't know. You know that company, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pure Lore. Yeah.
I
thought you guys. Had
I like their gear. Yeah, we go down. My wife likes to definitely dress me in, like Christmas or something, like birthday. Like, she's going to go get stuff from there and dress me in it.
Yeah, my husband's a merch lord, and he fucking everywhere, and he travels a lot for work, so he's always bringing back.
That's awesome.
Merch. He loves that shit. But
I'm repping Maryland today, the Anglers. That's why I'm right there by the bay, right by the bridge there.
I've frequented their store quite a bit.
Yeah.
What's like the goal? Like, what's your goals in the next year? Well, really, wrapping up this year, going to next year, what do you want to do, see, grow, all that? Or is it ever changing?
It's ever changing, but I would definitely say I'd like to try more offshore. I wanna get more into hunting and learning like more about that, because I've enjoyed the very small little bit that I've done. I really want to grow with the outdoor. So I have a couple different sponsors that I work with now, and that's mind blowing too. That, like, people
that you could actually say that.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I feel like it's, what is it? Imposter syndrome. Like, that's what I feel a lot. Yeah. But the big one that I've been trying to go out of my way to represent is the Outdoor Pro Shop guys. So my buddy Kevin. That was all happenstance of meeting too. I entered a raffle that he does for guns, and I ended up winning. I had been looking at these SIGs because I was thinking about changing my carry gun, whatever. So I saw that he was doing that. Didn't know him, didn't know the shop, didn't really know anything about him. First I thought it was a scam, but then I saw like multiple people that I knew liking his stuff, and I was like, oh, maybe he's legit, whatever. Ended up winning, meeting him. We hit it off right away, just immediately, just had a connection. Felt comfortable, we were shooting the shit, talking about what we do, and he wanted to get involved with me, and now we've started a formal sponsorship relationship. He hooked me up with the AR-10 that I used to boar hunt. Got me a Cajun bowfish for bow fishing, or bow for bow fishing, and I'd like to make more content with him. I really wanted to have a range day, do that. I want to go down to Florida. We really want to do some snapper fishing. I want to catch some tarpons. I want to fish, more down south too. Yeah. Really just traveling and getting better about making content and just learning as much as I can about that, because like I just got that drone, like I told you, like I want to try to capture these, because I do a lot of shit. It's just hard to have your phone out constantly, and like I've had multiple people reach out to like offer to help film for me, but even that, it's hard to coordinate, because it's like spur of the moment. I could be like, oh, I'm going fishing today. It's like, unless you have that set in stone.
Like, hey, I got to go to Delaware. My mind's going to go fishing. You can't. You don't have somebody who's going to follow you around.
We should connect her with a Vail.
I already know what you're. Yep, I was going to say that. You know, Life by the Bow YouTube channel.
Yeah,
Vail fishing. So we had him on. Clay Cowart. He's a super awesome guy.
He was very. He spent probably 45 minutes with us after the podcast.
And like about techie stuff. So he had a media company before he used to film for outdoor shows. So he knows all this. Now he has his own show, and if you've watched Life by the Bow, it's a production.
Yeah.
But I'd be happy to make a introduction email or something like that. But awesome. And then you can they live in the Keys. So, I mean, go down there and fish with them.
Say no more. Say less.
Yeah.
I'm down.
100%. But now he would like you. I know he would like you. Right in line with his content. You know, he's 100% fishing and boating. Mm-hmm. But they are great people. They're the type of people I'm like, this guy ain't going to answer me. I'm just going to, on a whim, shoot him an email. There's no fucking way he's going to give me the time of day.
Yeah.
And it couldn't have been any more opposite. You know, he would like constant emails back and forth. Like he said, stayed on the call and would give us all these tips. He was like, look, do this, make a thumbnail with YouTube, you know, use these things. And it's our biggest YouTube video we've ever made. He was 100% right.
Yeah.
So he's like very genuine like that. He's saying like, we all got to start somewhere. You know, he's like, I needed it too. I'm happy to help anybody.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You know? So I'll make an intro. I'll shoot him an email or something and see if I can't get you guys connected. And just don't forget the little guys, okay?
Yeah, like I said, imposter syndrome.
I think that we should coordinate a offshore fish together. That would be nice. I have actually never been offshore fishing. I've been about 22 miles out for the Flounder Pounder. It's hosted, you know, here, but I've never gone out like, you know,
really like
really out there. Yeah, I've never gone. I've never been out to the hot dog and fish.
I mean, I can't promise it. I can't I'm not saying I can pimp my buddy's boat out, but you know, I mean, if you're down to do some stuff together, I would love to.
Absolutely.
I mean,
I feel like the biggest thing that I've learned. I mean, this is even before the social media thing, but I tend to say yes to a lot of opportunities and not no. Mm-hmm. As long as it's, you know, legit. Like we talked about before, I do screen things, but as opportunities present themselves, I try to make myself available and say yes to a lot of things.
You never know.
You never know what's going to come of it, or what opportunities, or, you know, people that you're going to meet, or what connections. Yeah,
because, you know, sometimes people's numbers is not a good representation of maybe connections that they have. Like, outside of this podcast, like, we're well known. He and I, you know, we know a lot of people. I mean, I work all over Delaware.
Yeah, if you're talking business-wise.
Business-wise, like just friends, the people I meet for my own customers. Mm-hmm. I mean, one of my customers was, he travels the entire country just working on people's boats, high-end boats. And he was a customer of us. And like, you never know. And especially here in Delaware, there's a lot of money and there are a lot of secret people that are like popular in their own world.
Yeah, they just hide out here.
They hide out here. You know, so
I mean, you never know, and like you never know. That's the cool thing about, especially with like the outdoor community, is like a lot of these people that you're talking to, like, I mean, they're very well connected, they're very well known, they're probably multimillionaires, and but you would never fucking know, because they're awesome,
rich.
Blue collar and like cool, down to earth, like don't flaunt it, don't like even the things that they have, like you're just like you would have no idea, but they're like the coolest people ever.
Well, someone that likes to fish offshore, right? That obviously we could all get along with. What kind of money do you think he's got to have to run a boat that burns 240 gallons of fuel an hour?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's me and you. The difference is like his pockets are deeper. That's it.
Especially like as often as those like the offshore guys do. Like I have a buddy that, I mean, he's out there.
Yeah.
All the time. Like I can guarantee you, like if I called him, he probably already had like a couple, you know, days that he was planning on going out. Like he goes all the time.
I don't want that ice bill. let alone that fuel bill.
No,
like buying the boat isn't even the problem. It's like to run it, to run that.
Yeah, the fuel, the maintenance, just the equipment. Like especially with offshore.
Yeah, $20,000 in rods and reels.
They fit.
John said
just
his
my
boat was
freaking kayak, dude. Yeah. Like I got that thing last year, and I started with like just a regular rinky-dink paddle kayak just to see if I was going to do it enough to invest in like a a better quality one. And the money that I put into that freaking thing, it's like not.
No,
I told my husband, I was like, we have expensive hobbies. Like
wait till you get down a rabbit hole of duck hunting. That'll spend all your money.
Yeah, hunting is where I put all my. I fish a lot, but hunting is definitely my number one passion, especially waterfowl hunting. Yeah. So you take me fishing, you use my boat, tell me where to go. Are you good at like the bay fishing, flounder, that sort of stuff around the back bays of Ocean City, Esselwoman, any of them? Is that
no?
Like your
but
jam?
I have friends that are. Yeah. So I'm
trying to learn to get better at flounder fishing. That's not my thing. I can catch rockfish, drumfish, tuna, all that stuff, but I could never.
That's the goal with that boat.
I can never catch a flounder. By accident, right? But there's a finesse to flounder fishing, and I've never got it. So my boat is perfect for inshore flounder.
I have people that definitely would love to do that. Like I have a buddy of mine that recently got into it, but he's a phenomenal fisherman, and he's big into flounder right now. He just recently got into it, but he said that we definitely have to plan a trip together. So
hook it up, and I'll take you goose hunting this winter.
That'd be awesome. I had a blast. I love duck hunting, and that's right up my husband's alley too, because he's way too ADD for deer hunting. He can't do it. The one time, it was like maybe last year or the year before, he went with a buddy of ours that is big into deer hunting, and he said all of a sudden, it's dead quiet, and he just hears thump. And he looks he's like, oh my fucking God, like Dave fell out of the tree stand. Because my husband's a bigger dude. And he's like, oh my God. And then he just hears like this, shuffling or whatever. He starts marching off into the woods because he can't fucking sit still anymore. Scared a buck right to my buddy, and he ended up getting it. Yeah. So my husband takes credit because he's like, that was all me.
He got him with the assist. Yeah. The assist on the big deer.
He can't do it. But duck hunting he loves because he doesn't have to be quiet. He can move.
It's fun. Cooking the blind and everything. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to start doing some podcasts with us duck hunting. Yeah. We're going to bring the equipment in there and start just having podcasts while we're duck hunting.
Well, you're sitting there talking anyway until something happens, which is, you talk about the whole, if you're hunting for 3, 4, 5 hours, you're really only shooting or being quiet for minutes of the whole time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The rest of the time, you're just cutting up with your buddies. You know what I mean? Drinking coffee.
Talking some shit.
Yeah, talking shit.
Talking shit.
Maybe having some brandy after 8 a.m., No.
I don't think there's a time limit on the brandy. You gotta warm up quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wintertime fishing, there aren't. It's just like an airport, Like there's no rules.
No.
Like if you're there at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm gonna probably start my vacation with the beverage.
Yeah.
My buddy that hunts with us, he's older. He's like that old school blue collar alcoholic, and he takes off Thanksgiving week and Christmas break, and that's all we goose hunt we goose hunt the majority of the days it's open anyway. And it's like barely light out, and you hear that the natty light opens
up.
And I'm like, dude, he's like, I'm on fucking vacation, man. Like, all right, I get it. That's crazy to me. The sun is barely up. A Bloody Mary, a beer? Good God.
Yeah, that's like my husband. So like when I fish, I usually don't, like I'll indulge like after or whatever, but if I'm out there like really, I'm not the person that I can't be functional and like actually like be productive or do shit like when I'm drinking. Like that is relaxing. All of my stuff is done for the day, for the weekend, whatever. Mm-hmm. Like I'm going to chill and relax if I'm going to be doing this. I don't need to do any adult responsibilities that day. Yep. That's me. My husband though, he installed our whole freaking patio and just would crack open a beer, but just get it all done. And I'm like, how do you do that?
Yeah, I'm the same way. No, it's got to be.
I started drinking.
That's the problem too. Sometimes you just go like, if I had to really be conscious yesterday because we took the kids, my wife, 2 kids went crabbing. Hey, let's just go have lunch, and then we'll have lunch there. And I'm like, well, let's go to Pot Nuts for a little bit. Didn't know it. Show up to our Paradise Grill. We show up and had a couple high noons, and then like, oh, there's a benefit, a crush contest. So $20, all you can drink crushes. There's 22 different flavors of crushes. This big thing, like
you just turn that boat around.
Well, like, I'll pay the $20 for whatever. It's a great benefit, awesome. But then it's like I still have to drive the boat. I still got my kids. I still have a podcast tomorrow morning. I can't stay down here, right? And so I had to really, because if I pass a certain point, then it's just like fuck it. Yep. I'll worry about that in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, like. Yeah, for sure. Like yesterday, because I remember that I had this going on this in the morning. My husband asked me if I wanted to go. There's it's crazy that it takes 25 minutes to probably get to this place on land, but like on the water, we're right across the creek, so it takes 2-3 minutes to get there by water.
Yeah.
So we took the boat to one of the local restaurants out there, and I had a drink, but I was like, I got to be up early.
It tasted good. I want another one.
It was delicious, but I'm also a lightweight, and it doesn't take much to get me going. And my biggest thing lately, I've been trying to practice docking the boat. Like I've been working on the trailering it back, doing all that kind of stuff. I'm getting better at that. That part isn't, but docking is, especially like this one particular restaurant, is a great place to practice because it's very tight. It's difficult, and
you getting comfortable backing up with just the mirrors? Yeah.
Well, I only do that
okay.
like when I'm trailering the boat. Yeah. Like I grew up not having the mirror, the camera or whatever. I don't use the camera at all.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I can't.
I just found that the camera is nice, at least on mine sometimes, because if you have to take a hard turn, there's multiple people in there. Like my pontoon trailer is fucking long, so at some point it's blind. I can't really see anymore. But if I look with my camera, like, okay, I can see where the dock's at now. Until I swing it back around in my mirrors, or I can see the sides of the
catch up.
Yeah, so I'm like, but my trailer was like 35 foot long, so it's like.
My husband was a professional, like tractor trailer driver.
Yeah.
Like he drove for a lot of years, so I have him. No camera. Use your mirrors. Use your mirror. Like don't like. And so I just have that drill. Like so I don't look at it at all. But I will tell you, trailering that boat by myself to Hooper's Island, where it's like pretty much. And I was driving his truck because I just got that truck out there recently because I was sick of having to go back and forth all the time. Because anytime I wanted to use the kayak, I'd have to borrow his truck, and it was just getting to be annoying. So I have my own truck now, but I borrowed his to take the boat down there, and he has a 2500 diesel. Big, he's got the freaking giant. Everything about his truck is just it's obnoxious, but it also can haul a lot of stuff, and we use it quite a bit. So trailering that thing like on these little tiny back roads that are super curvy, can't see what's going on beyond you. Like that will make you really quick at driving the trailer.
That's one of them drives you get done, you're tired.
Well,
like,
I was exhausted just getting there, and then on the drive back, I had never been to Hooper's Island before, so I wasn't used to the bay it was pretty windy that night, and that was that'll also make you better at launching the boat and docking and all that is when it's windy. But, we finally get everything loaded up. My buddy went his separate way. I went my separate way. But on those bridges on that island, you've got the bay and water coming up on the road. And I'm like, thank God I'm in a heavy truck right now. And I took my time and I'm going slow, but it's very unnerving at night. At 1:00 in the morning.
There's accidents that happen on bridges like that from wind and shit, or they'll just the Chesapeake Bay Bridge tunnel, they just shut it down. You're not crossing it when that water's going over top or the wind just gets too bad. You know what I mean? Goodness gracious. My cousin's a truck driver. He hauls campers most of the time. And with his tractor trailer hauls campers, and he was out west last winter, and gust of wind blew his truck, hit ice, and jacked them all up. And just fucking wind. Yeah. And he has his dash camera going. I saw the video, just driving normal. All of a sudden, just slowly just starts to turn, and then you can kind of see the trailer and coming up on him and shit, and just there.
Well, the Bay Bridge, they'll put those restrictions, no empty trailer, because you need to have some weight to. But my dad was a truck driver too for a lot of years.
You're a good driver then.
I will say that.
You better be.
I'm pretty good.
Now you gotta be.
I'm pretty good. I'm still, he is incredible. He's backed our boat up into some spots where I'm like, how the
Yes.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't even seem possible. Like, it literally seems like physically impossible for him to
probably does it at one
it.
time, too. He doesn't have to correct himself. You know, just slides it right in.
Do you know how annoying it is, though? Like, living with somebody that's like that. I mean, I'm good at a lot of things. Like, I'm good at a lot. Like, I'm an expert at very little. Mm-hmm. That, like, he was born. Yeah. Like, he is just so good at it. And, I mean, he started doing it when he was really young. Like, as soon as he was legally allowed to do it, he started doing it.
Wow.
And now he doesn't do it anymore, but he still talks about it quite a bit because like that was something. But all the guys that had been doing it for years, they would see his little dumbass like pulling up, and they'd be like, "All right, here we go, this little kid, you know, let's see him back." And he would always blow their mind because it clicked for him.
So you say he's big in the cornhole?
I mean, yeah, like for fun, not like he doesn't like.
He doesn't do tournaments and all that.
No.
Oh, my buddy of mine founded and runs the Delaware Cornhole organization, which is like one of the biggest around. He's one I was talking about. It's going to be on the show here in a couple of weeks. Oh, I'm
sure. But, Dave would love. They're very good. They're very good at playing. He has never he has his tournament, but it's more. Just
he doesn't go play for money at these big tournaments at like Paradise. Mike holds the Delaware Cornhole holds a giant tournament at Paradise. They just had it 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah,
but it's huge. I mean, lots and lots of money.
He'd be super into it. Yeah. He loves to gamble and do stuff like that. Like, he loves to play poker. He golfs, like all that stuff he'll do for money. But the cornhole thing, like he'll do like little like local things.
Yeah, because honestly, crazy. You might think you're good at cornhole. I'm not saying he's not, but me, right? Like, I can play cornhole until you play someone that's good at cornhole.
He's pretty humble. He knows that he's not like
these guys are. The best, it's stupid. Like 4 bags in the hole every time. It's a defensive game. Like that's all it is because everybody can score whenever they want to do. So it's just straight up defense.
Yeah.
And Tristan and Jacob Lovegrove. We were at the Taco Festival up in Wilmington a couple years ago at the Blue Rock Stadium, and there was a cornhole tournament going on. They're like, "Oh yeah, we're good. We'll enter into that." They got smoked like immediately, like double eliminations, like lost. They were done. Like, yeah, we're done already. Like, damn guys, you thought you were a big shit at the barbecue, but if you got guys playing for money, it's a whole different league, man.
Yeah,
whole different league. All right, well,
are the flies fucking moving in? What is happening
around
here?
Really, seriously, man. I want to wrap this up so you can get on with your day. One, thank you. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I hope we can get together. I would love to go fishing with you. So hopefully we get a chance to do some more stuff together. I think that'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, we'd have a good time.
Where can people find you? And we'll share all your stuff as well.
So on Instagram, I'm Carly Watkins _outdoors. Facebook, Carly Watkins Outdoors. TikTok, I think it's all pretty much Carly Watkins Outdoors. They can find me on there.
Do you have a YouTube channel yet?
I do, but
you're getting there.
Yeah,
I got you.
That's a whole different beast. That
100% is a whole different beast. All right, Carly, well, I appreciate it. Anything else to add?
Thank you so much. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for your time today. And when we get done, if you could at least text us or your sponsors, we would support them as well.
Yeah.
And
100%.
We'll support them. And then if you want some tips on where to go after this, we'll help you with that.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right, y'all. Appreciate you.
All right.
Oh, you didn't say go fuck yourselves.
Go fuck yourselves.